final episode of the spooky series of the scariest podcast on the web, Funny Pair, blah, 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 where two pairs in a pod may not be in the same orchard. Ooh. But we are always ready to brew up a fresh chat. I'm Madeleine.
And I'm Professor Brie.
Woo! Whoa, 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 whoa. That's actually the scariest thing of them all.
I'm back, bitches. No.
the bitch is back. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I was trying to think of what to do for my accent this week. And I'm like, well, I've run out of accents. Looks like we got to just throw them all into one. So I did all of them.
Yeah.
One intro. So.
Yes, I did catch that. That was great. Good job.
Thanks.
Round of applause for you, Madeleine. Round of applause. Good job.
I should have been an actor in another life.
Yep. Standing ovation for you.
Thank you. But
you're welcome.
I have anxiety, so I decided not to do that. But maybe an alternate universe, there's a me that does theater. I feel like she's thriving.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She probably doesn't have a podcast, though.
Yeah,
that
period.
Sucks to suck.
That does suck to suck. Suck toes, girl. Suck toes. Period.
Yeah, like a vampire. Ugh.
Like a vampire. I actually was listening to Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo. That's who wrote that song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really listen to that song very often, but I have a Halloween playlist, and that's one of the songs on the playlist. So I heard that for the first time in a while today.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's on my Halloween playlist, too.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, shoot. I got to get to class. I am late.
Class is getting started, my friends. Class is getting started. If you have not figured it out yet, because today I am taking on the role of Professor Brie, we are doing yet another Histor-TEA with Professor Brie. Woo! Somebody tell me that that's not the best catchphrase in the entire world. Because
almost as good as FPI.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Girl, I'm telling you what, I literally was editing that episode and I just about died because I was laughing so damn hard.
That was me in the office listening to it. I had to pause it and kind of pull this move where I put my hand in front of my face like I'm thinking really hard. Yep. Mm-hmm. But in reality, I'm trying not to die because I'm just, the beat of silence. We just go.
Yeah.
FBI. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, literally, even when I was editing the episode and stuff too, we got so freaking loud during that part that it
it blew out.
There's a little level meter in our audio editing thing. And when it gets in the red zone, that means it's too loud, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it was it wouldn't even register how bad it was. It went all the way up to bad and it was still even worse than the worst
black.
it could level.
It was red. It was it was deep purple, maroon.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to way turn down the decibel level on our screaming moments because it was a lot. So it's still in the red zone, but it's not in the purple zone anymore.
Well, that's good.
So that's good.
That's good. Oh my gosh. That was the most eureka moment I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah. Literally. Literally.
Oh my gosh.
I still think about that time.
I actually finished the episode, and then after I finished it, I went back to that part and listened to it again because it made me happy. I was like, that was such a good part. I'm going to go back to it and re-listen. Oh, that's so good. Sorry. Class, I'm too busy.
I just keep thinking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know. So, class. For today's lesson, we're going to be learning about the Salem Witch Trials.
Ooh.
Speedy.
Ah. Speedy. Oh. Uh-oh.
Speedy.
One of my classmates is in
Get
trouble,
your ass.
y'all. Oh.
Get your ass off the bag or I'm going to stuff you in it. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Yep. And I am calling PPS, the Pet Protection Services. He's one of the bad kids. He sits in the front next to the teacher's desk.
So sorry. Had to reprimand my children.
Ah.
My familiars, if we should say.
Yeah, she threatens to put them in bags.
Yes, I do.
We've all been there.
I'm a great mother.
Listen, as long as you never follow through.
Yeah, I'm actually, no jokes aside, very excited to be a mom someday. And I think my kids are going to love me.
I would hope, yeah.
I would hope they do, but
you're
I really think I'm going to be one of those cool moms. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. See, you just jinxed yourself and now you're not going to be.
Well.
You're going to think you're a cool mom. And your kids are going to think, gosh, she's so stupid. I wish we could hang out at Aunt Maddie's house more.
Have you seen
She's
the
actually
videos
cool.
I sent you?
Yes.
The videos of like the kids calling the aunt or whatever about their tests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So I saw a video the other day. I'm telling the pairs. I saw a video the other day of this kid who called their aunt and was like, I got a really bad math test. Like I completely bombed it, failed it, whatever. Can you like sign it for me? Because I don't want my mom to see it. And the aunt on the other end of the line was like, absolutely, I'll sign it for you. Don't even worry about it. I got you.
Which one do you want me to forge, mom or dad?
Yeah, literally. And then it was, I'll forge your dad so that your mom doesn't get in trouble. That would be me. Like I would forge Tyler's signature so that you wouldn't get in trouble, but I would still sign the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
I guess it's not good to know because now you're going to tell your kids, if you guys ever do this, you're going to be in so much trouble.
That is not what I sound like.
When you're reprimanding your kids, you might sound like that. Your kids might think you sound like that.
My kids that I don't have?
Yeah, but like the future ones.
Yeah.
The ones I've seen in my dreams, you know?
Right. We don't need to get into that today.
We don't need to get into that, no.
Maybe a Dream Talk episode later.
Yeah. So today's class is going to be about the Salem Witch Trials. I expect that we have come to class with our homework assignments completed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I'm just checking.
I have. Did you not do the homework? Did you not do the homework? Oh my God. No, you can't copy off mine. No, you should have done it. She assigned this like weeks ago. Yeah. No, pay attention. She's still. Stop.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Hey, little Timmy, we're going to talk after class. You understand? You get what I'm saying? All right. So, as per usual, I will be presenting the story of the Salem Witch Trials as just that, a story, with the drama, the tea, all the stuff. And then just to note, those who have come prepared to class with their homework will be having a little presentation moment in the middle of class today as part of the assignment. And then I will certainly prompt you when it is your time to present. I'll call you up to the front of the class and you can do your whole thing. And then, as always, feel free to ask questions, offer insight throughout the class. Conversation and banter is always welcome in my class. All right. Now, feel free to take some notes because, as I've said in last class, we might have a final for the semester. And that final is going to be cumulative, and it'll include some information from each of the little lessons we've had. But for today's class in particular, I don't have a test. So you will not be testing today.
Yes.
But I expect that means that you made up for it with your homework assignment. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Y'all, I was worried.
So she's like, I was so scared.
Y'all remember I took 8 pages of notes last time.
And color-coded with highlighters and everything. It's not her having 3 highlighters out in Halloween colors, might I add.
Thank you for noticing. I did.
Yeah, of course. So we're going to meet some key characters to start the story off. Okay. It is 1691 in Salem Village, Massachusetts. It's a gloomy little town clinging to survival between the harsh frontier and the wealthier Salem town that's right down the road. All right. So it's just a little small town. You know what I'm saying? Colonial times. I mean, we're talking back in like the 1691. They don't have running water. You know, they don't have toilets.
Dang.
They don't got nothing. Right. So life here is cold. It's brutal. And there's just fear everywhere. Right. The winters bite hard. The harvest will fail because it's a farming town. You know what I'm saying? And the devil is said to be lurking just out of sight around these parts.
Not around here, partner. Not around here.
Yeah. Well, because it's, what is it? Is it Puritan? Is that what it was? I think it's Puritan. Let me look that up real quick. Okay, yeah. So it's a Puritan colony. It's founded by like English Protestants is basically what that means. So what that means is that they run their town through like faith, you know, so faith is the law, right? They don't have all the like constitutional whatever stuff. It's you follow the Lord's word and that is the law.
Yeah.
So people around these parts love to watch each other like hawks. They are always ready to gossip, report, or condemn at the first sign that someone might be stepping out of line. Salem isn't one big pious family either. It's like split into factions. So half the villagers want independence and the other half want benefits of cozying up to the larger Salem town. So the larger Salem town was kind of like the merchant town, you know what I mean? It was where all the money was and it was just right down the road. And then Salem Village was the smaller farming whatever.
Gotcha.
But they kind of like reaped each other's benefits, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right. And right in the middle of this small town feud, is going to be a man named Reverend Samuel Parris. All right, now Reverend Parris, he didn't exactly come to Salem with like saintly credentials. So before taking the job, he was actually a merchant in Barbados.
Oh.
And he wasn't a successful merchant. So he actually ended up losing his fortune. Like he lost all of his money.
Dang.
And so he decided, So he decided that after losing his fortune, he's like, you know what? I'm going to give up being a market person or a merchant. I'm going to go into the ministry, right? So he decides to go into the ministry, and maybe things would have worked out fine, but he was a little bit too intense for the job. Let's just say, you know what I'm saying? He took it a little too seriously. But anyway, 1689 is the year that he settled in Salem's Village as a preacher with his wife and his 9-year-old daughter, Betty, his 11-year-old niece, Abigail Williams, and his enslaved servant, Tituba, 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 Tituba.
Okay.
So remember, the Salem Witch Trials, which is where we're getting to, that is what starts in like the 1691. But he moves here about 2 years prior to the witch trials starting. So 1689 is when he moved here. Anyway, his servant Tituba. So from day one, Parris just rubbed people the wrong way, right? He was very proud. He was fiery, obsessed with sin, especially everyone else's sin. You know what I'm saying? And his sermons were less about comfort, and they were more about like threats wrapped up in scripture.
Oh, I hate that.
And when villagers argued about his salary and stuff, including whether they should give him like free firewood and stuff, like, yes, that was actually a real fight at that time. He doubled down, accusing his own congregation of things like hypocrisy and warning them that the devil had already crept among them. So he was just not, he basically liked to wave his little,
I'm holier than thou. Like, I'm going to cause some drama.
My shit don't stink.
Point fingers.
Exactly.
And what's his name again? Reverend Parris? Interesting.
Yes, Reverend Parris. Samuel Parris.
Where is Paris again? France? Interesting. I'm not saying there's a correlation.
Interesting. Didn't we have somebody named Paris in our last conversation too? I thought we did. Why am I remembering
like in our last
that
Histor-TEA lesson? Or
yeah.
I thought that was, I don't think it was that guy. I thought that was from
Was that the Olympics one?
The Olympics.
Was it?
The guy who brought back the Olympics.
Okay, his name was Paris or something?
I think he was from Paris. Pierre de Pierre, remember? I can't remember how to say his last name. De Coubertin. But he was a French educator who founded the modern Olympic Games, and he's from France.
Okay.
His name's Pierre, so.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, so Paris,
he
had control over the church. You did such a good job. I love it. You're the best student in this class. I'm telling you right now.
Thanks.
Wow. You're like one of the only ones that actually participate.
Yeah.
So.
I'm really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, teacher.
So you're welcome. Anytime. So he turned the church into like a stage for his paranoia, right? So he liked to spread that kind of paranoia around whatever, and he used the church to do so. Living now at home, right? We've got all the people at home. So we're going to meet them. So living in that tense, joyless home was young Betty and Abigail. They're two girls growing up in a world where laughter was suspicious, imagination was sinful, even dancing could send you straight to hell, right? Oh. They were expected to pray, behave, and stay pure of thought, all while surrounded by adults that were obsessed with damnation. So naturally, curiosity crept in for them. And behind closed doors, the girls began to whisper about forbidden things like magic and fortune-telling and the strange, mysterious world that the church told them to fear. Then, suddenly, everything unraveled. Betty and Abigail started having terrifying fits. They were twisting, screaming, claiming unseen hands were pinching them, and voices were whispering in their ears. No one could explain it. Maybe the kids were just having their imagination run wild or something. Not quite sure. But in a place that's already simmering with suspicion and stuff, people don't need much to assume the worst in this kind of world. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of introducing them. And then working quietly in the background of this is Tituba, which we're going to get into more detail, but I'm just kind of introducing, like, these are the characters. Mm-hmm. So we've got Tituba. She was the enslaved woman in Paris's home. Her exact origins are uncertain, though she's likely from South America or the Caribbean.
Right, because he was in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if he
probably
purchased her
got her
somewhere.
Yeah. And obviously because of the region in which she's from, her difference in skin color and tone was not something that you could ignore. Right. You know what I mean? In this world that we're living in. Mm-hmm. So that just kind of adds to the story that we're about to experience with Tituba. But anyway, so Tituba brought stories, warmth, and imagination into the house. She was a very loving, amazing human being. And she just wanted the kids to have a good life and a childhood and, basically be that kind of rainbow for them in a world of rain. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So she would tell tales about spirits and the unseen, and the stories fascinated the children. But when hysteria struck the town and the area, some of those stories definitely turned against her. Mm. So, yes. Now, Paris household wasn't the only household that was brewing trouble around these parts. Now we're going to enter the Putnams. Putnams. They are one of the most powerful families in Salem Village, and arguably they were the most dramatic. Thomas Putnam Sr., he was a wealthy landowner who seemed to collect grudges the way others collected church hymns, right? He was just pulling them grudges left and right. Ugh. And he believed that Salem was filled with sinners and schemers, and when the witchcraft rumors kind of began, he was basically someone handed him the perfect outlet for all of that pent-up resentment that he carried. And he quickly became one of the loudest voices, pushing the investigations forward, backing the accusations, and encouraging others to speak up, especially the people of his own household. So we've got his wife, Anne Putnam Sr. She was just as intense, if not more. She was deeply religious and emotionally volatile. She took the witchcraft rumors and ran with them. She was convinced that the devil had chosen her family as his personal target. Every sickness, every tragedy, every misfortune, all of that became proof that witches were out to destroy them. She claimed to be tormented, struck ill, and haunted by unseen forces. And her influence in Salem was strong, and she used that to also bolster her daughter's accusations to legitimize the growing panic around. And then her daughter was Anne Putnam Jr., so both of them are named Anne Putnam, but you've got the mom and the daughter.
Right.
She was just 12 years old when this witchcraft stuff began, but she was would become one of the most infamous figures during this time, actually, because of the number of people that she accused of witchcraft. So she definitely had a flair for the dramatic, just like her mom. And she would accuse people left and right, from outcasts to respected townsfolk. In total, it totaled about 62 people, to be exact, that she accused of witchcraft. And it didn't go unnoticed. And many of those accused had past conflicts with the family. So a lot of it was petty drama. She wasn't just accusing people to accuse them. She was maybe the parents were saying something to her, hey, this person wronged our family. You should say that they did such and such to you, or whatever, to kind of accuse people who have wronged the family in some kind of way. I do think that because of her age, she was kind of a pawn in this whole thing. Maybe she didn't have full autonomy in a lot of this. But that doesn't change that she accused 62 people of witchcraft during this time. So, let's get into how the trial started, right? So we've met our key players, and this is basically how it started, okay? So, Reverend Samuel Parris's daughter, Betty, who's 9 years old, and his niece, Abigail Williams, they were hanging out with their friend, Ann Putnam, the 12-year-old girl. And let's just say that they were bored, and to spice things up, the girls started dabbling in fortune-telling altogether, trying to see who their future husbands would be, right? It was cute at first until it wasn't cute anymore. And in January 1692, Betty and Abigail started acting really strange. They were talking fits, screaming, throwing things, making weird noises, and saying that they felt like they were being bitten or pinched. They would twist their bodies in weird contortions. They would shriek for hours, and people didn't know what to do, right? Now, modern medicine, modern science has theories about this. So, modern theories have said that it might have been asthma, which I don't know why asthma would cause you to do all these weird contortions with your body, but whatever. Asthma, Lyme disease, epilepsy, abuse, or, which something that I think might be true, is ergo poisoning. So ergo is a fungus that grows on rye bread that can actually make you hallucinate. It's basically like the 1600s version of LSD. So what I think might have happened during this time is they got a little bit of that mold, ergo poisoning, whatever, and that's what caused them to act basically like they were on drugs because they're acting crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's just a theory of modern medicine, but like to me that theory makes the most sense. You know what I mean? And with like they didn't have all of the refrigeration and the food storage that we have today and all that. So like I'm sure it was very easy for fungus and mold to grow on bread and other foods and vegetables and whatever you're eating, you know?
Yeah, that Among Us will get you.
But, that Among Us. Whatever it was, it spread fast, and other girls in the town started acting the same way. And their explanations just weren't adding up. So the girls' behavior looks eerily similar to a story that was written just a few years earlier by a minister called Cotton Mather about a supposedly bewitched Boston family. And these girls might have heard the story. So whether it was a performance or whatever, we're not 100% sure. But they were acting very similarly to the story written by this minister. So when the local doctor showed up, his name is William Griggs, he couldn't find any medical cause, and he dropped the mic and basically said witchcraft. So he determined that they don't have any sickness that I can understand in this earthly world, so it's witchcraft. And that's when things got messy. So at someone's suggestion, Tituba, which is the enslaved woman in Paris's home, she baked what's known as a witch cake. So somebody told her that she should bake a witch cake. And a witch cake is basically a cake made with the girl's urine, like the afflicted person's urine, and rye meal, which is basically kind of like a grain. And it was to try, like, feeding somebody this cake was basically helping to try and identify who was behind the curse, right? Who bewitched this person. But basically, instead of helping, it just sent Paris into a rage. So Paris found out about the witch cake, and him being this crazy reverend, pastor, whatever, he called it blasphemous. And from there is where the accusations just flew in all the directions. Pressed by Paris to name who was tormenting them, Betty and Abigail both pointed fingers at Tituba, Sarah Good, which was a homeless beggar with a bad temper, and Sarah Osborne, which was an older woman, bedridden, and scandalized for shacking up with her indentured servant. So these were the three women who Betty and Abigail accused and pointed fingers at of who was tormenting them, right? Who was inflicting witchcraft upon them. So on March 1st, 1692, two local magistrates, John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin, showed up to investigate. Good and Osborne both swore that they were innocent, though Good quickly turned... So Good and Osborne, that's Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne, right? So Good and Osborne, they were basically in jail, like in trial, whatever, and they both swore that they were innocent. Even though they were both claiming that they were innocent, Good very quickly turned and accused Osborne of witchcraft, I guess to help try and clear her own name.
Right. It's not me, it's her.
And at first, Tituba said the same thing, but after relentless questioning and fearing for her life and likely a lot of, abuse in the jail and all of this kind of stuff, she basically cracked and gave them a full-blown confession that she was doing the witchcraft. She definitely put on a show. So Tituba basically spun a story about, like, the devil is visiting her, black dogs, red cats, yellow birds, all this kind of stuff, and a tall man from Boston who made her sign the devil's book. I don't know. But in that devil's book is where she said that she saw the name of Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, as well as 7 others, but she couldn't read, so she couldn't read their names. Yeah. Basically, during this time, the magistrates, which these are the people who are like running the trial kind of thing, right? Yeah. This is John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin. They were basically like, after this confession, like, we're uncovering an entire, like, full-blown coven in this town. A whole coven of witches. You know what I'm saying? Because there's these two girls plus 7 others in this book that supposedly, like, the witch mother has seen, right? Yeah. Well, soon after all of this happening, more girls started to have fits.
Oh my gosh.
And that included Ann Putnam Jr., the 12-year-old girl, her mom, her cousin, Mary Walcott, and their servant, Mercy Lewis. And the accusations from them just continued to spread more wildfire and so on. And like I said earlier, conveniently, everybody who had beef with the Putnam family or who they had beef with, they were supposedly, like, they were the ones getting accused. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right. So you're just like using this as an example or an excuse to do whatever, you know? Yeah. So that's basically what happened and what kind of started the whole like Salem Witch Trials thing, right? So Tituba, after she confessed, basically during this time of the Salem Witch Trials, you either confessed or you were hung. That's how it worked. And so she confessed and therefore didn't get hung, but her confession just basically killed a bunch of other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So from what I read, Reverend Paris like refused to pay her jail fees while she was in jail. And in May of 1693, someone who knows who, they don't know who, basically paid the cost of her imprisonment and bought her freedom. Whoa. So she was like bought out of the prison and went somewhere. Nobody knows where she went.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like she didn't get hung, but nobody knows what ended up happening to her because she just like left the jail one day and then left everything behind. Like nobody ever saw her again. Nobody knows who bought her. Nobody knows anything.
Wow.
So yeah, so we've got Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne. That's a whole lot of fun. We've got some others that I'm going to mention. We have Bridget Bishop, which was accused by Betty Paris, Abigail Williams, and others. So that's the two girls initially that were acting crazy. She was basically a tavern owner with a lively reputation. She wore colorful clothing, and there had been disputes over the property. And basically her nonconformity and outspoken nature made her an easy target at this time. So she was actually the first to be executed by hanging. And then we have Rebecca Nurse. She was actually an elderly, highly respected woman in the town. And she was accused by Ann Putnam Jr., which is the daughter who's 12 years old. It was believed that the mother, Ann Putnam, was motivated by jealousy and grief over the deaths of her other children. So I guess she was giving birth to other children and they died or something. And she lost 8 in total, I guess.
Whoa.
The theory goes that the mother basically encouraged the younger Anne, the daughter, to accuse Rebecca Nurse. And basically they blamed her for witchcraft over the killed infants. And that was their like reasoning as to why she was accused. Then we have Martha Corey. She was accused by the girls as well as Mary Warren. Her accusation seems to be tied to a suspicion of neighborhood envy. Like she was a church member, intelligent, outspoken, whatever. So she was just kind of like envied by people. We have Giles Corey, which is actually Martha's husband. So actually it's weird that, you know, a guy be involved in the witch trials. But we actually, based on my research, we had 19 total that died during the Salem Witch Trials.
Whoa.
5 of which were men, and the rest were women. So 14 were women. So yeah, Giles Corey was Martha's husband. He basically refused to plead in court to protect his property from being seized. And so he was actually pressed to death with heavy stones. So basically he had a bunch of like heavy stones piled on top of him and he slowly suffocated to death.
Trigger warning.
Yeah, literally.
Done.
Sorry, I should have said that. My bad, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, then we have George Burroughs, which was the former minister of Salem Village.
Whoa.
And he was accused of being a witch despite his past leadership and moral authority. And his crime was that he left Salem, had enemies, and when he was accused, he recited the Lord's Prayer perfectly.
Wait.
That was why he was accused.
He was accused because he left and could say the Lord's Prayer?
Yeah, basically.
Was everybody on this freaking ergo poisoning sort of crap?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know.
What are they smoking over there?
Right? Anyway, so all that to say, that's the bulk of what the Salem Witch Trials was. I know that in your homework assignment, you were given some stuff to research about, I guess I'm going to say like the trial time, like the testing that they would do to test if somebody was a witch or not, or certain things that they would have to go through and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, that's basically how the Salem Witch Trials started. You had all these people being accused by basically a bunch of children. Like, I was expecting it to be like all the townsfolk were like, witch, witch, witch.
It's a witch. But no, it
was like 3 kids who are on LSD are accusing all of these women of being witches. And
and they believed them.
Right, exactly. So anyway, like I said, by the end of, well, not really the end of, but the Salem Witch Trials lasted between February of 1692 and May of 1693, so a little bit over a year.
Wow.
More than 200 people were accused. 30 people were found guilty, 19 of whom were executed.
Wow.
So 14 of those 19 were women, the other 5 were men.
That's so crazy, too, because you think the Salem Witch Trials, you think, oh, it must have been for years with hundreds and hundreds because of how impactful it is on like people's memory and Hollywood and like pop culture and everything of like, it's a witch, hang her. It's like, that's a whole big thing. But the fact that it was barely a year, and not to say 19 isn't a lot, but 19 deaths, you would think with the level that the Salem Witch Trials sort of has, the presence that it has, you would think, oh, there must have been like at least 12 hangings a day for a year. Yeah. But no, it was not as big as it. I don't know. I feel like it's bigger now than it was. I don't know. It's weird.
I was incredibly shocked during this process of learning about the Salem Witch Trials because of that very reason. Like in my head, I was like, they've got like 10 people burning at the stake every day during these witch trials. And I was like,
nobody burned at the stake.
Yeah. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess that means that it's like Hollywood or something that have.
I think it's
encouraged
part that and part like The Crucible, which is a 1953 play about the Salem Witch Trials. I don't know. I had to study that in school. I don't know about anybody else, but yeah, I just wonder if like people got a hold of that somehow, like through history being told, and then like this play and then this movie and then this thing and then like The Wizard of Oz, and then it was like, oh, the witches, whatever, and then it's then it becomes a character, and then it's like all right, now it's a villain, so let's do the common villain thing, like, and it built and built and built. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird to think of how big it's become when in reality it wasn't as long as we might have thought it would be.
Right. Now, somewhere I read, I can't remember exactly the population that was in this town, but I want to say it was only like 5,000 people or something like that. So 200 is quite a large portion of that 5,000 people or whatever. So I'm sure for this town, it was quite the crazy time to be alive.
Oh, yeah.
And things were terrifying and whatever. Like, I'm not minimizing that by saying that this really wasn't that big a deal, but in the grand scheme of history and all the big things that have happened throughout history and the way, like you were saying, that the Salem Witch Trials is kind of personified in today's media. It's crazy to, like, that was so shocking to me that it was nothing like that, But anyway.
I really want to know where burning at the stake came from, because that wasn't a thing. Apparently it was a European thing. Let's look at Britannica. I trust that. Burning at the stake was a traditional form of execution for women found guilty of witchcraft. I guess during the Salem Witch Trials, it wasn't used. Yeah, that's crazy. In some cases of burning at the stake, mechanisms were provided to shorten the victim's suffering, make it a little easier. For example, these included attaching a container of gunpowder to the victim, which would explode when heated by the fire and kill the victim instantly.
Wow.
Cool. Burning at the stake for crimes other than hearsay continued into the 18th century, which is the 1700s, in case y'all didn't know.
Yeah, this is saying that the myth of burnings at the stake in Salem was most likely inspired by European witch trials, where execution by fire was a disturbingly common practice. Medieval law codes, such as the Holy Roman Empire's Constitutio Criminalis Carolina, stipulated that malevolent witchcraft should be punished by fire, and church leaders and local governments oversaw the burning of witches across parts of modern-day Germany, Italy, Scotland, France, and Scandinavia.
Yeah, so it definitely happened, which is probably where we get that. It just wasn't a part of the Salem ones, which is the ones that are most well-known, I feel like, in American history, in terms of, like, when you think of witchcraft, you think of that time period and the, like you said, the Protestant or people like whatever pointing at, witchcraft, and this girl said that she's a witch because she's been having fits and whatever. Sorry, this is really
I just want to read this one little part. Yeah, this part is really dark too, but this says that historians have since estimated that the witch hunt hysteria that peaked between the 15th and 18th centuries saw some 50,000 people executed as witches in Europe. Many of these victims were hanged or beheaded first, but their bodies were typically incinerated afterwards to protect against post-mortem sorcery. Other condemned witches were still alive when they faced the flames and were left to endure the excruciating death by burning and inhalation of toxic fumes.
Okay, so to answer our past, sort of inquiry of how it got so big, maybe I'm just dumb. I forgot that witchcraft, I think of when people are pointing and saying, witchcraft, whatever. I think of Salem, and I don't really think of a whole lot of other places, but it happened everywhere. Yeah. And of course, Europe was like, everybody, 50,000, however many people you said.
Yeah, 50,000. Estimated to be, but that could be a larger number.
That's why it's such a huge part of our history and pop culture nowadays. It actually was a big deal. I'm sorry. I take back anything I had just said.
No, that's okay. I mean, genuinely in the U.S., excuse me, sorry, the Salem Witch Trials was the big witch thing that happened. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense that that's what you think of. You know what I mean? Because that's not like, whatever.
No way. Hold on. That's not real. I'm fact checking before I say this. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So apparently, this was written in 2020, and it says, witch hunts, a global problem in the 21st century. Witch hunts are far from being a thing of the past, even in the 21st century. In many countries, this is still a sad reality for many women today. So, according to this thing, it says that there have been over 2,500 deaths between 2000 and 2016 of people being accused and killed in modern witch hunts. The true total is significantly higher because many governments do not record witchcraft as a motive for murder, and many incidents go unreported. So it's still a thing today of people being accused of witchcraft and being killed for it.
Wow.
Which
That's
is
crazy.
Insane. That is insane. Sorry, I was just looking that up and was like, oh my gosh.
No, that's crazy.
And maybe that's small-minded of me, but I just assumed that we weren't hunting witches anymore because,
I assumed the same thing, so that's crazy.
But that just shows how different.
But I guess it shows how different parts of the world are, and everybody's beliefs are different. You know what I mean? Like, some places are more rooted in the supernatural than others. Is all I'm saying. So.
True. Anyway,
all right. Well, now is the time that our presenter for the day, Miss Madeleine, has prepared a beautiful homework assignment that she will be presenting to the class.
Yes. So, for my homework assignment, let me just read my assignment overview for those in the class that maybe didn't read their homework. Throughout history, accused witches faced a variety of bizarre, cruel, and often nonsensical tests to determine their guilt. In this assignment, you will create a set of witchcraft test cards, collectible-style flashcards that showcase several infamous methods once used to prove witchcraft. The goal is to blend historical accuracy, humor, and creativity while reflecting on the absurdity of these tests. So, I had to create 5 illustrated cards, double-sided front and back, to explain different tests that people would do to test if someone was a witch. Okay. So I took this assignment and thought, how can I be extra with this? Because that's how my brain works. And so I present to you a board game. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have created a game, and it is called Witch Hunt. WHICH. Witch Hunt. History is written by whoever's left standing. What side are you on? The overview of this game. In Witch Hunt, 2 players take opposing sides in a battle between townsfolk and witches. 1 player plays as the townsfolk, aiming to expose and capture the witches. The other side play as the witches, working to complete their coven's secret tasks before being caught. The game ends when either the townsfolk successfully get 3 witches to the courthouse, or the witches complete all 5 of their tasks undetected. So let me just explain the board setup for you. We'll get into the cards in a moment.
Okay.
The board has 2 sides, one for the townsfolk and one for the witches. I just want to note this game is 2-player only, just for a pair. The center of the board features locations: the woods, the cabin, the apothecary, the town square, and the courthouse. Each side has 3 character pieces on the board: 3 townsfolk, which begin in the courthouse, and 3 witches, which begin in the woods. Each player has 2 decks of cards. One is the action deck, which are tests for townsfolk and tasks for witches, and the other deck is the protection deck. Now, the player's goals. The townsfolk. You, as the villager, are trying to rid the town of witches. Discover all of the witches in your town by using the 5 different identification tests. Once you successfully identify the witches, you must lead them to the courthouse to await their trial. You win the game if you successfully capture at least 3 witches in the courthouse together. The witch's goal. You are part of a witch coven trying to thrive in this town. Evade all the townsfolk and complete your 5 witch tasks. Once you successfully complete all of your tasks without getting caught, you automatically win the game and your coven will thrive in the town forever.
Wow.
What I have made today, and what I shall now share my screen. Okay, so the 5 cards that I have created to tell what the witch tests are these 5 cards that are in your action deck. The first one that I have created, which is on the screen right now, is the swimming test. And to describe it to people, it is a blue card with a blue ombre sort of border that's got lanterns and pitchforks and torches and things on it. And then in the middle, there is a rope that is sitting on water. Let me get into the research a little bit. So, the swimming test. As part of the infamous swimming test, accused witches were dragged to the nearest body of water, stripped to their undergarments, bound, and then tossed in to see if they would sink or float. Since witches were believed to have spurned the sacrament of baptism, it was thought that the water would reject their bodies and prevent them from submerging. According to this logic, an innocent person would sink like a stone, but a witch would simply bob on the surface. The victim typically had a rope tied around their waist so they could be pulled from the water if they sank, but it wasn't unusual for accidental drowning deaths to occur. Witch swimming derived from the, quote, trial by water, an ancient practice where suspected criminals and sorcerers were thrown into rushing rivers to allow a higher power to decide their fate. So, this card is called the swimming test. On the back, we'll show a couple of different things. So we have the icon, which is the rope on water. The power level, which is determined by the townsfolk lanterns. This one is a power level of 5. So the power level basically is equivalent to whether or not, like how, obviously all of these tests are inaccurate because, hello, let's use our brains here. They wouldn't actually float if they were witches. It's not a real thing. But in terms of it being a definitive yes or no of are they a witch or are they not, it's got a pretty powerful level. Do they sink or they drown? So it has a power level of 5. This element is water, obviously. And on the back it says, bind the accused and cast them into the water. Let the river judge their soul. If they float, they're marked as a witch. If they sink, they are declared pure. So that is a swimming test. That's the first card.
Oh my gosh, she actually printed the cards.
I did. I actually printed the cards out. Sorry, I forgot to show.
They're like in a little pouch.
Yeah, I printed them and laminated them. So
wow, good job.
Cute. Thanks. So that is card 1. Card 2. This is the prayer test. So this card is purple with an open book with writing on it, and it has a purple ombre sort of border. I made these all really bright, fun colors, by the way. So, the prayer test. Medieval wisdom held that witches were incapable of speaking scripture aloud, so accused sorcerers were made to recite selections from the Bible, usually the Lord's Prayer, without making mistakes or omissions. While it may have simply been a sign that the suspected witch was illiterate or nervous, any errors were viewed as proof that the speaker was in league with the devil. This twisted test of public speaking ability was commonly used as hard evidence in witch trials. Still, even a successful prayer test didn't guarantee an acquittal, which we saw with, what's his name, George, was that his name? Where he got accused because he said the Lord's Prayer perfectly and left Salem.
And they just didn't believe him anyway.
And they just went, no, he must still be lying. So that is the prayer test. On the back of this card, this has a power level of 3 because I said in my research how just because you say it perfectly doesn't mean you're totally innocent, but it also, it's sort of a maybe. It's could be either or. So it has a power level of 3. This element is the spirit. And It says on the back here, it says, make them speak the sacred words, the tongue of the wicked will falter. Force a witch to recite truth. If they fail, they are revealed. If they succeed, doubt remains. Card number 3.
Oh my God, I love this card. I love this card so much. Oh my God, this is my favorite one so far.
This is my favorite card of the whole thing. So I should have saved it for
last. My God, I love it. Okay.
So test number 3. This is the mark test, which it is a green card with a green hand, with witchy hand with long nails reaching up, palm face out.
I wonder why I love this card.
I don't know. God. It's like a green witch or something. I don't know. How interesting that those colors lined up. So the mark test. Witch hunters often had their suspects stripped and publicly examined for signs of unsightly blemishes that witches were said to receive upon making their pact with Satan. This, quote, devil's mark could supposedly change shape and color and was believed to be numb and insensitive to pain. It was easy for even the most minor physical imperfections to be labeled as the work of the devil himself. Moles, scars, birthmarks, sores, and tattoos could all qualify, so examiners rarely came up empty-handed. In the midst of witch hunts, desperate villagers would sometimes even burn or cut off any offending marks on their bodies, only to have their wounds labeled as proof of a covenant with the devil. So, if I was living in the 1500s, where they were accusing witches back, like, left and right, I'd be dead, because I have moles everywhere. They'd be like, oh my God, look, those moles they give the shape of a pentagram, and whatever, like.
Yep.
You could play Connect the Dots.
Honestly, same. Yeah, my whole body is a Connect the Dots game for sure.
Same. And they would have made all sorts of connections with me. So this card on the back, this has a power level of 5 because, like I said in my description, they rarely came up empty-handed. Once they did this test, they were pretty sure to find something to accuse them. So this element, the element for this card is earth, which is why it's green. And the little description on the back of the card says, search their skin for the devil's touch. Every blemish tells a tale. Inspect a witch's body for marks. Reveal their identity if a mark is found. All right, test number 4. This one is called the weighing test. This is a yellow card, and on the cover of the card, it has a little scale. And on one side, there's a book, and on the other side, there's a witch hat. And the witch hat is slightly higher than the book, which is important. So the weighing test. In medieval Europe, most town centers had stations called weigh houses where traders and sellers measured their crops or livestock before taking them to the market. But as the witch hunt craze swept across the continent, these weigh houses were used to weigh the wicked. The basis of this witch test rested in the widespread lore that witches rode around on broomsticks and could float on water, which was said in the swimming test earlier. This meant that a witch had to be relatively lightweight. Therefore, if the accused was found to be lighter than a stack of Bibles, that they must be a practitioner of black magic. But even if the accused was able to pass the weight test, executioners were often bribed to skew results, so many innocent people found themselves declared guilty based on this test method. It's pretty
interesting.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
So this card has a power level of 4. It's pretty powerful. I wouldn't say is as definitive as the mark test or the swimming test, but it's still pretty powerful. So this element for this card obviously is air, because if you're lighter,
right,
you did. So the description says, set the scales, no soul so light can walk among the righteous. Compare the accused against sacred weight. If lighter, they are exposed as a witch. This last card
I like this one too. I like this one too. This one's my second favorite. I love it. This one's really nice.
I like this one too. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
This is called the pricking test. And on the cover, this one is red, so it's got a maroon background. And the art is a needle with some thread going through it. And then at the end of the needle, there's a drop of blood. So the pricking test. If witch hunters struggled to find obvious evidence of witch marks on a suspect's body, they might resort to the ghastly practice of pricking as a means of finding it. Witch hunting books and instructional pamphlets noted that the marks were insensitive to pain and couldn't bleed, So examiners use specially designed needles to repeatedly stab and prick at the accused person's flesh until they discovered a spot that produced their desired results. In England and Scotland, the torture was eventually performed by well-paid professional, quote, prickers, many of whom were actually con men who used dull needle points to identify fake witches' marks. So when you call somebody a prick...
Oh, damn bitches. Yeah. Anyway. Is that really where that comes from?
I don't know, but I'm saying it is. Let's see. Yeah, around the start of the 17th century, interesting timing, the word began acquiring its current meaning of a conceited and contemptible person. So,
okay, well,
but it's also slang for a man's.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There's that too. Anyway, back to the test.
Did you know that, or you didn't know that?
I did not know that. I just looked that up.
Oh, okay.
I don't use that word a lot, so.
Yeah, I don't think I really have ever used it, to be honest. I know of it, but I don't think I really use it.
Oh. Apparently, a pricker was a job back then to test if someone was a witch. So the back of this card, this has a power level of 2. I put this one as a power level of 2 because they'll try and find it with a needle and stuff, but the other ones are just more powerful and you're more likely to find something with the other test. This one's sort of a last resort kind of test, just to try and get something. But at that point, you're so desperate that it's probably not that real. You're mainly just looking for something rather than actually testing it. So it's not, of course, they're all fake, but not fake, but like nonsensical. But this test was sort of like, okay, you definitely just want to accuse this person of, like, you want to find some proof. So you're just going to be super desperate and find something. So the back of this card, so the element for this one is fire. The description says, steel and nail shall draw the devil's blood or none at all. Test their flesh for pain or blood. If they do not bleed, they are condemned. Those are the 5 action cards that the townsfolk need in order to capture a witch. I have not gotten into the full gameplay, or at least I won't get into it on this pod, but, but you can play these cards to capture a witch and bring her to the courthouse so that you can win the game. But I know what you're thinking. Well, what if I want to play as one of the witches? Well, we can do that too. So, what would her card look like if we played as the other side?
I like this card too.
So
this one's really nice too.
This 6th card that I have made is a not a test, but rather it is one of the tasks for the witches. They have to perform 5 tasks on their side of the board in order to complete the game. These tasks include, let me go to that, potion making, divination, transfiguration, flying, and spellcasting. So the card that I have here is potion making. The colors in this one are an inverse of the townsfolk one. So while the townsfolk had a dark background with a lighter sort of icon on it, the witches one has a lighter background with a darker icon on it. And it also has a similar border around it, but this one is candles, a potion book, black cats, that kind of thing. And the center has a cauldron with bubbles. So the back of this card, it has a power level of 3. The power level for the witches is shown via candles instead of lanterns. Obviously, the element for this card is water, because it's a potion. And the description says, measure by moonlight, stir by heart, the craft is half instinct, half survival. Brew a midnight potion to strengthen the coven's hold on the town. That is just one of the 5 different tasks cards that witches have to play in order to win the game. But all in all, yes, I knew I had to create cards for this homework assignment, and my first thought was like tarot cards or flashcards or something, but then I thought, I really want to do something different, and then for some reason a playing card jumped in my head, and I went, that's cool. And then my brain just started going, and I just couldn't stop, and I went, what if it was a whole game? Okay, what if we actually made the game? Okay, what if it actually was a thing? And so I spent quite a while talking with Tyler about what the actual gameplay would look like. Let me just say, I have a separate Word document that's like got 5 different tabs and like 12 pages, and it's a lot. So needless to say, I've kind of fleshed out this game, but the action cards are what I did for my homework assignment, and that is how that's how I did it. Is with these.
I love it.
These playing cards.
Good job. Oh, it's so good.
Thanks.
It's so good. Wow. I think that's worth an A. I will say.
Really?
So, yep.
Oh, good.
And because you made an extra card, you get a bonus. You get the bonus points.
Yay!
So, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. Good job. Yeah, I really do love the Mark test card. That's so good.
Isn't it kind of amazing? Not to
It's
toot my own horn, but it's kind of good.
It's iconic. I love it.
I don't know. She kind of ate with that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm so impressed. Good job, Madeleine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
I want to make this game a thing.
Yeah, do it.
So, I don't know. I thought it sounded fun.
Make it a thing. I love it. It does sound fun. I want to play.
So
I want to play it. All right. Well, I do have one last little bit to add here.
Ooh.
After the trials, right? So we had the trials. They ended in May of 1693. I swear I'm dyslexic in this episode because I keep wanting to say 19, but I know it's not 19.
It's okay. So, I was dyslexic in the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just switch off, Okay. So next episode, you can take the dyslexia card and I'll actually be normal.
All right.
But anyway, so yeah, after the trials ended, basically, they never really stopped. Like that stigma of there being witches in the town and whatever, it still existed. And there was still like the social tea, I guess if you want to call it that, it still lingered. So the survivors still faced like the stigma and suspicion of whether they were actually a witch or not. It was like they would hear whispers or they'd walk by and the townsfolk would be talking to each other. Obviously, like they're talking about them, so it was stuff like that. The community was still grappled with fear, grief, and guilt. Like friendships were fractured because people were turning on each other and families blamed themselves and all this kind of stuff. Honestly, Salem, like the whole story of Salem, kind of became a cautionary tale that was passed down through stories, sermons, and eventually literature and so on of like what happened at Salem and how spreading this kind of hatred can lead to these things and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then let's see. By the 18th century, legal systems became more skeptical and public opinion shifted. So witchcraft was increasingly seen as like a superstition rather than a true crime.
Mm.
So basically, we still had witchcraft and accusations like that and whatever from when even before the Salem Witch Trials, but from the end of the Salem Witch Trials up until the 1700s and well into the 1700s, So that's that. Now, the last thing I want to add here is that we have Anne Putnam Jr., the daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
On August 25th, 1706, and remember, she was one of the most prominent accusers. She accused 62 people and all this kind of stuff of being a witch. She stood before the congregation at Salem Village's meeting house. Minister Joseph Green read aloud a statement that she had composed expressing deep remorse for her actions in 1692. This act of contrition was part of her conversion testimony, seeking acceptance as a communing member of the church. So she basically wrote an apology statement, and the
first YouTube
minister
apology video
read it, basically.
Dang.
So this is what her apology said. So in her apology,
sorry, Did she sing a song on the ukulele?
I think so.
Okay,
I think so. Actually, yeah. So Anne wrote, "I desire to be humbled before God for that sad and humbling providence that befell my father's family in the year about 92. That I, then being in my childhood, should, by such a providence of God, be made an instrument for the accusing of several persons of a grievous crime, whereby their lives were taken away from them, whom now I have just grounds and good reason to believe they were innocent persons, and that it was a great delusion of Satan that deceived me in a sad time, whereby I justly fear I have been instrumental with others, though ignorantly and unwittingly, to bring upon myself and this land the guilt of innocent blood." I will say that they really love their run-on sentences.
Oh, yeah.
Back in that time.
It just keeps
There
going.
were commas and there were colons and all this kind of stuff, but there was no periods in that entire thing. She continued emphasizing, the minister read it, but anyway, her writing continued emphasizing that her actions were not driven by malice, but by a misguided belief. So she said, though what was said or done by me against any person, I can truly and uprightly say before God and man, I did it not out of anger, malice, or ill will to any person, for I had no such thing against one of them, but what I did was ignorantly being deluded by Satan. I only bring this up because of what we were talking about earlier, where they, like, her family was just accusing people for wrongly doing something to their family. So I understand that you were a child, and yeah, you might have been a pawn in all of this, but this is nuts. I just feel like, yeah. Go ahead. What's up?
Hot take, but maybe not to the level that it is in other countries or it was back then, but we do still have present day witch hunts with cancel culture.
Yeah. 100%.
That's what it sounds like. It's like, oh, you wronged me?
Yeah.
Canceled. And now that's the new witch. Like, it's the new thing to point at someone and to say, you're a witch, you're canceled. And the metaphorical pitchforks and torches are now internet warriors who are commenting things and giving threats and, you know, going to people's jobs and saying things and like trying to get them to ruin their lives. Like, that's the new witch hunt of the present day of America. It's
I agree
culture.
100%.
Wow. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, you said that.
That's crazy.
So they were just trying to cancel the people that they didn't like.
Basically. Yeah. Well, I also found this little fact that I just wanted to add in here. So I don't know much about a lot of the people who are mentioned in these stories because it was a different time. History gets lost, whatever. But I did find a little bit about Anne, the child who wrote all that. Anyway, in 1699, so this was 6 years following the Salem Witch Trials, both of her parents died within 2 weeks of each other.
Whoa.
And she was 19 and left to raise her 9 orphaned brothers and sisters, ranging from age of 7 months to 18 years. So she basically raised all of her siblings from the age of 19, and she never married. She devoted her life to raising her siblings, and she died in 1716 at the age of 37.
Oh, dang. She died young.
Yeah. So she read that at 27. Like, she read she didn't read it, but she wrote the apology at 27 years old.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, she passed.
So she died when her youngest sibling was 18.
Yeah.
Like, that 7-month-old, like, I don't know if he was still alive, but I was just thinking the math. I was like, so she died before her youngest was even, like, out of teenagehood. Her, like, youngest sibling. That's crazy.
Well, a lot of the belief as to how she died was, like, people were saying a chronic medical condition, but that it was worsened by the stress of the Salem Witch Trials and everything that happened during that time. I don't know how much I believe that, but I do know that people died from a sneeze back in this time. So I'm like, I don't know. But
you might have seen this video. Sorry, this is out of left field. But
no,
I saw this video yesterday, and it was this girl making fun of the things that would put a Victorian child in a coma thing. Like, she said, oh, a hot Cheeto would put a Victorian child in a coma. No! Timmy worked in the mines! He was from the age of 12. Like, he was, they ate lead and, like, all this stuff. Like, he would be realistic and all these things. Like, you don't realize that a Victorian child had a stronger immune system and whatever than the kids today because she was so upset about it.
That's
and like
so
had all these chemicals in their, food and clothing and all this stuff. Like, they were pumped full of chemicals and like stuff. It's like, be realistic. So that just reminded me of that.
All right, well, class, that's everything I have today. Thank you for attending the Salem Witch Trials lesson for the day. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
It's a witch a lot. Like, is witch a word anymore?
Maybe that's the name of this episode. Is witch a word, but it's WHICH. There you go.
Is witch a word? But yeah, just what a strange time.
Yeah. This was one of those times where, I don't wish, but if I had a time machine and I could travel back in time and maybe not be like visible that I'm in another time.
Fly on the wall.
Yeah, but like I could go back in time and watch as this stuff is taking place.
Yeah.
I would absolutely travel back in time to watch this time period.
Because you hear about this and you hear about the fits of hysteria and people accusing people and all this like suspicion. And I'm like, what did that actually look like in that time? Was it similar to the way we are now, where it's just people gossiping, and rather than being on their phones, they're just like whispering to the person next to them on Sundays and stuff? Like, I just want to know what it looked like, because I don't know. It's just weird. Everybody knows about it. It doesn't feel real, though. Like, it doesn't feel like it was actually a thing because of how absurd it is, or how out of, I don't know, delusional it was. It doesn't feel like it actually happened, even though it did. I don't know. It's just very strange.
Yeah.
Her sister was a witch. And what was her sister?
A princess.
The Wicked Witch of the East, bro. You're going to look at me and you're going to tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong? She came down in a bubble, dog.
I love that video.
Maybe that's the episode title. Her sister was a witch.
Yes.
And what was her sister?
Yeah, we'll figure out the title. We're working with it. All right, well, what is something that you're loving or hating right now?
Oh my God, girl. You already know. Already know. But for those who don't know, I am a longtime fan of the artist Sleeping at Last. I've probably mentioned him on this podcast before. I definitely did when we were talking about the personality tests. If y'all go listen to a metastasizing episode, I know the title sounds scary. It's about personality tests, believe it or not.
I can't believe that, like, in my head right now as we're talking about that, I can't believe that's what we named that show. For that episode.
Well, girl, you name it.
I know I do. But
that was the name
it has nothing to do with metastasis, I can tell you that. I mean, it does, but it don't. You know what I mean?
It's got to do with Brie's version of it. Anyway, so I've talked about Sleeping at Last before. Well, if you don't know, he is a singer, songwriter, producer, and composer that I have been listening to for probably over 10 years now. I've been a huge fan of his stuff. His big songs that you might know are Turning Page, which is featured in the Twilight movies, specifically the scene where Bella marries Edward, as well as the song Saturn, which I believe went platinum earlier this year. The music video also features Derek Huff, if you know who Derek Huff is from Dancing with the Stars. But it's a great song. Well, he does not do tours. That's like sort of his thing. Like, he just makes music and just puts it out there in the world, but he doesn't really do a lot of touring. Well, recently in the last couple of years, he's done some pop-up shows with local orchestras. Usually he'd go to Chicago, or like currently he lives in London, so he has done a few shows in London. But earlier this year, about April, I believe it was, he announced that he was coming to Nashville. And I was like, oh, that's close enough for me. Like, I can make that drive. And so I bought tickets back in April. The show was 2 nights ago. Y'all, when I tell you, that was probably one of the most emotionally charged concerts I've ever been to. I've seen Taylor Swift twice. I've seen Billie Eilish. I've seen freaking For King and Country, Pentatonic. Like, I've seen some artists. When I tell you that it was just him, his piano, a string quartet, and then sometimes he would play the guitar instead. He was amazing. Y'all, he came out on stage and I just started crying because what are you talking about? That's freaking Ryan O'Neal. Like, oh my God. He sits down and he's like, hey guys, like I can tell that he's very anxious and he doesn't like people. And I think he's even said that before on his podcast. Like, that's part of the reason why I don't tour, is because I get so anxious when I perform live. But he's like doing these shows as like he knows that his music means a lot to people and that it is a special experience for people. And he doesn't want his fear to get in the way of something that could be beautiful for someone else, which I think is great. But before every song, he would kind of like explain what this next song is about and then go, okay, and this is the title of this song. Like, it was just, I don't know, it felt very personable and just like a private sort of it felt like he was just talking to his friends. Like, okay, guys, this next song, you might know this one, but this next one is about this, blah, blah, blah. It was amazing. He played a lot of songs. I don't remember how many he played. I can probably look it up. So he played like 17 songs in the set list, but then he came on for an encore and played 4 more. Like, it was like, and one of the songs he played is a song that's not released yet. He hasn't even announced this song yet, like publicly.
Oh my goodness.
And he played it and I was like, I was freaking out.
Wow.
So he sounds even better in person, in my opinion. Like, he's so talented. And oh my gosh, he has Enneagram songs, right? I've talked about this. There are 9 of them. Well, he said, I'm going to play a couple Enneagram songs next. And I was like, yes, I wonder if he'll play mine. And then he didn't. He played 7. Great one. Well, then he said, this next one's called 3. And I turned to Tyler and I went, that's yours, Enneagram. This is your song. Oh my gosh. Tyler was so nice. He sat there and smiled. I was like, yes, dear. Well, then, like, he kind of moved on with the set list. And I went, he didn't play 9. And I was a little surprised because I was like, that's his Enneagram. Like, Ryan O'Neill's. Like, his Enneagram type is 9. Interesting. He played it in the encore. Like, he comes back and he played, he's like, this was 9. And I went, oh my God, that's my song.
He played that encore for you, girl.
He did. He knew I was there.
Just for you.
I know. I felt very special. But there was one song that he sang. It's called Mother. So his mom passed away about 3 years ago now, very unexpectedly. And he said that his mom was the person that he would play every song for before he released it. Like, she was the first person to hear a completed song every time, even before his wife, his kids, everything. Like, it was his mom. And when she was in the hospital, he started writing a song for her called Mother. Well, he didn't get to finish it before she passed. So he took a break from writing music for a while because he said he couldn't bring himself to come back to that song. Well, eventually he did. And he tried to move on with his other projects, but he found himself coming back to songs about his mother. And he ended up writing about 6 of them, including Mother, which those songs are just heartbreaking. But the song Mother, if y'all go listen to any song by Sleeping at Last, go listen to Mother, because it is absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to know the ins and outs of it, he also has a podcast episode about it where he talks about why the music sounds the way it does. And there's a certain verse where he talks about a dream he had after his mother died, and he dreamt of her and that they had a conversation, and he talks about what that conversation means to him and all of these things. Well, he's introducing this song and he just starts to choke up. Like, he can't even speak about it. And so there is not a dry eye in that room, and he hasn't even started it yet. He's just talking about what this song is. He chokes up and everybody starts cheering for him to, like, you can do it. And he just stopped talking because he couldn't talk about it anymore. And he just went, this is Mother. And he starts playing it. And I just got chills. It's one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard, and such a beautiful dedication. And he sang the song, but he was definitely sobbing his way through that song. Like, you could tell that it was still so raw and so emotional. And even after 3, like, obviously grief doesn't go away. You can tell it's just still it's a very raw thing for him. And he said that he wants to perform that song at every show because it's a way to keep her sort of alive. It was just this beautiful, oh my gosh. It was just so gorgeous.
That's so sweet.
So he played that, and then he finished and got a standing ovation, of course. That ovation was like 2 or 3 minutes. Like, it was insane. Oh my gosh. It was just beautiful. So sorry, that was really long, but that is the thing I'm loving. That is the thing I'm loving, because there were few artists that I had on my list of, like, artists I feel like I have to see in person before I die. And he was pretty much always at the top of that list. After I saw Taylor, I was like, all right, he's number 1 now. So anyway, what are you loving or hating right now?
So something I'm loving. It's a very kind of 180 switch from what you were saying. Remember when we were talking about, like, Halloween costumes that we want to dress up as and whatever? Yeah. And you were like, oh my God, I have this list of all these things I want to dress up as. Well, I've started a list.
Yes!
And I'm writing things down. Well, the other day, I'm on Instagram, I'm scrolling through Reels, whatever. This couple dressed up as Ray and Evangeline from Tiana. I think I sent it to you, but they dressed up like Ray and Evangeline, and the guy was Ray, and he was in, like, his outfit, whatever, like the army green kind of colors with the like cargo shorts looking, whatever. And then his girlfriend, she was in, like, a star black dress or whatever, like, very beautiful. It was a very cute costume. Well, then the guy turns and he's got like a balloon taped to his low back or something, or attached to his low back, and that's like his butt. And I thought, oh my God, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire freaking life.
It was so cute.
So that's now one of like my number one couples costume ideas.
Yes.
Like I have to dress up like Ray and Evangeline because I need to see my significant other with a balloon taped to their butt.
Yes.
Like,
and it could be one of those balloons that light
list.
up. Like they put lights in the balloon. It could be one of those.
It's now on my bucket list.
Yep.
It's a requirement that my significant other dresses up with a balloon on their butt. So yeah.
That's just my butt glowing. Got a man with a big fat poach.
That's right. That's
All right. My butt glowing. That's such a good movie.
I love Ray.
Great.
I freaking love Ray. He's
Rest in
like
peace.
my favorite. Rest in peace, Ray. But he's with Evangeline now.
True.
So they found each other.
I still can't watch that scene without crying. But that costume, you sent that to me, and I was like, as soon as he turned and like shook his butt, I was like, I already kind of loved it because he was wearing like, I think he had like antenae on like a headband or something.
Like, yes.
And I was like, that's cute. Okay, yeah, I can see it. And then he turned and went, I was like,
oh my God, it was the best. It was so freaking cute. Oh my God. It's like,
I've never seen that before.
When a baby has pinchable cheeks. It was that kind of cute for me. I was like, oh, I just want to pinch your little cheeks. Like, it's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, anyway.
Oh, that's awesome.
What is our tangent tally for today?
Our tangent tally for today is...
Drum roll.
11.
1-1.
Snake eyes.
We just need a 3 in between that one.
And it's the
then
cipher.
We'd have 1-3-1.
Yep. Well, my foolish mortals, be sure to follow us on your preferred podcast listening platform, as well as our Instagram at FunnyPairPod, to stay up to date on all of the latest news and releases, blah, blah, blah. Also, let us know what you think of this episode and the podcast in general by sending us a DM or leaving a comment on the Instagram post. Or if you feel so inclined, taking a second to please rate and review this podcast on whatever you're listening on. It would mean so much to us as those ratings and reviews will help us grow. We would love to hear from you guys.
All the links for where...
I knew she was going to do her toe voice, y'all. It's her toe voice. Toe voice, toe voice, toe voice.
All the links for where to find us are in the description below this episode. We love every one of our pairs, whether you've just found us or been here since the beginning. If you're enjoying what you hear and you just can't wait until next week, check out our past episodes and let us know what you think.
A big thank you to all of our pairs for joining us in this episode and for helping our orchard grow. We'll talk to y'all again on Wednesday. And remember,
when you're the best of friends, having so much fun together. What is your voice? I'm sorry, I have to stop. What are you trying to do, Valley Girl?
I don't even know.
All right. So, when
you're not even aware.
Oh, you want to do it from the beginning?
Starting over, sorry.
Okay. All right, we can start over. All right. Okay.
When you're the best of friends,
having so much fun together, you're not even aware. You're such a funny pair.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God.
Have you ever seen Zombieland?
Actually, I think so.
Okay, have you seen Zombieland 2?
I don't know.
There is a character in that movie. She's a blonde chick, and she sounds exactly like that in the movie. She's like, oh my God, you guys.
Oh my God.
And she is totally God. I was living in a freezer. Like, that's how I lived. I just hid in a freezer.
Like, I was literally there.
Yeah. So, turns out zombies don't even like cold. So I just hid out in the freezer. That's what
I don't know
that
if I've
voice
actually
reminded me
seen
of.
this movie or not.
Oh, it's so good. It's really, really good. I highly recommend.
Okay, I might have to watch it. I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, okay, yeah, watch both of them. They're both really good. Woody Harrelson, what's his name?
Yeah. Jesse Eisenberg.
Yep, Jesse Eisenberg. And Emma Stone is in it too. So.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Highly recommend.
All right, well, I'll have to watch that. Oh, Bill Murray's in it too.
Mm-hmm. He's in the second one at least,
Wow.
I think.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's crazy.
I know. Like,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
it's like totally really good. Actually, we sound like that chick from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Actually, yeah.
The chick that like totally
Maybe
was like
that's where it
supposed to
came
die.
from. Yeah.
And she like didn't.
But then like she didn't. Yeah.
Like, oh, by the way, she like was like a mermaid and like washed up on shore, and she like, even though she got
Yeah.
stabbed by a hook and like was drowning in the ocean, she like totally
Yeah.
lived.
And she didn't just get like stabbed by a hook. The hook like went in her stomach and like
Went up
They
like
lifted
into
her.
her heart and like
Yeah.
stabbed her lungs.
yeah. So like
Explain that.
the math isn't mathing.
We can explain more on our books and binge, but God, that movie was dumb.
That movie was really bad.
It had potential.
It honestly like had the classic horror movie vibe.
Yeah, like horror comedy.
where it's like you're trying to run away from the bad guy and it's like
Yeah.
don't go in the basement because we know he's in the basement, but they go in the basement anyway.
right,
And all the whatever, like the cheesy
and then it's
come
like
at you with the chainsaw.
Scooby-Doo, take the mask off. It was Mr.
Yeah.
such and such from the, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's somebody we know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's what it was, but it was just dumb. And there was one
Well,
character
yeah.
who was actually smart not smart, but he was actually realistic the whole movie. Like,
Oh
There's
my
this
god, we
villain
loved
chasing them.
him.
and he's like,
Yeah.
why don't we just hop on my boat and like go to the Bahamas for a while
Yeah.
and just let this blow over? And they were
Yeah.
like, no, we can't do that. Why
Yeah.
not? Sounds like a good idea to
Yeah.
me.
That's
They
what
should have
I'm
listened
saying.
to him. But now they're
I
all
love that
dead.
guy. I was really cheering for him.
I was too.
I really was. But y'all, I'm surprised I got Madeleine roped into watching a horror movie with me. I'm
I've
surprised that
watched some
happened.
with you.
No, I know that. I'm just saying, like, you're not one to volunteer or be willing to watch a horror movie.
I know.
So I'm surprised that I had one on, which it wasn't that scary, but like, I'm surprised I had one on and you were like, yeah, I'm fine with watching that.
Well, I could tell that it was gonna be a little bit more like Scream, kind of like.
Like, I did not jump. I did not flinch a single time throughout that entire movie. was
I
like,
mainly
this is-
flinched at the gore. Mainly that first
Yeah.
one where in the house and you saw
Yeah.
him. It was like, ooh, oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's where I was the most freaked out, was just like the squelching of the hook and the
Yeah.
like the blood and
Yeah.
and it. Ugh.
But yeah, on the flip side of that, though, I'm like a kid in a candy store when I see gore on the screen. And I'm sitting there on my couch and my mouth is open and I'm looking at it with like wishful eyes, like, wow, this is great. And Madeleine's
No.
like, ew, oh my god,
If anyone in my life was ever going to be a serial killer, it would be you.
oh my god, thank you. That's so nice.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm nice like that.
That's
just wanted to
so
let you
nice
know.
of you.
If
Wow.
if you were a serial killer, would you kill me or would you spare me?
No, I would spare you.
Oh, good. Would you tell me,
I might tell you.
or is it like a
I don't know
secret
if I
double
would
life?
tell you. If I told you, would you not want to be my friend?
I'd maybe have some concerns, and I might try and
Mhm.
help you work through whatever it is you're going through, but I wouldn't stop being your friend.
Wow. That's really big of you.
It's because I know you're hot. And I know
Oh,
that
that's
if
so
you did
nice.
murder someone, that it would come from a place of, I don't know, like it wouldn't be because you're some sick psycho who likes to kill people. Like, it's not that. So I don't think you would kill anybody,
I don't
period.
plan on ever killing anybody. I don't think
No.
I ever could unless I had to, honestly.
It's like defense, yeah.
Yeah, like I would not. I don't want to. I've never in
This
my
is a PSA.
entire life, PSA, I have never in my entire life ever wanted to kill somebody. So, like, actually wanted to kill somebody. If I
Right.
say it, that doesn't mean that I actually want to do it.
Right,
That's
it's
different.
a figure of speech.
Yeah, like I've never actually had a desire to kill somebody.
Yeah,
I just feel like I have to say that.
yeah.
Because
For people that don't know
I probably
you,
could
yeah.
be a freaking serial killer or whatever. But that was a joke in the sense of gore doesn't gross me out.
Yeah.
So if anybody was to commit heinous acts and not be grossed out by them.
You're kind of like Misty from Yellow Jackets a little bit when it comes to
Yeah?
that kind of thing, like where she's just
Mhm.
like, it doesn't really bother me. Like she just kind of
Yeah.
is just like, yeah,
Yeah.
why not? Like she
Yeah.
doesn't balk
Well,
at it
like,
or anything.
that period of my life where I wanted to be a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, I could be a doctor because gore doesn't bother me. Like, if somebody was bleeding out in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's say they were sliced open,
Mm-hmm.
their guts were falling out,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be freaked out, like, oh my God, you're going to die. I need to help you. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to be grossed out at the fact that you're bleeding everywhere and, like, your guts are, like, that's not going to gross me out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I know you don't know what I'm saying, but that, that's just me. Like, I would be freaked out because of the situation,
right.
but I wouldn't be scared of the blood and all that.
Yeah. You wouldn't have a physical reaction to the gore.
Right. I would be like, okay, let me reach in and just start helping you put everything back together. Like, I would be okay with doing that. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
I can't explain to you the feeling I just had right now in my body. But when she said I would reach out and start scooping it back in, let me just say, right around my midsection, about where my intestines are, I felt a little flinch. like a little ripple effect of like, oh my God. My insides were going, she'd what?
Yep.
And I felt it right in here.
Well,
it's a very strange feeling.
You should be grateful for that, because if you are ever in a situation where you need immediate help and you're bleeding everywhere for whatever reason, one thing or another, I'm right there to help you, girl. Aww. I will stick my finger in that wound to stop the bleeding. I'm telling you right now, don't give me a paper towel. I will stick my finger in there and I will stop your aorta from bleeding everywhere. I will do it. I have no shame. I will touch your freaking literal heart to save your life. I will do it.
Thank you.
And that's something, okay?
That's real friendship.
If you can't find yourself somebody who will stick the damn finger on your heart to save your life, they aren't a real one, okay?
Aw. If your bestie has never said to you, I would hold your guts. If you were sliced open and bleeding out and your guts were spilling everywhere, I would hold them for you. Like, that's real friendship.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's on period.
I'd hold your guts
because
for you.
if I was afraid of that kind of thing and I like wasn't able to do that for you, it's basically like I'm killing you myself.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
So wait, does that mean that I'm not a real friend to you? Because I mean, I don't know what I would do.
I think you would.
I think I'd black out and like mentally black out and just be like in a state of.
I think you're fight or flight. We've been in this situation many times.
Yeah.
In terms of fight or flight, you're typically a fight.
Yeah.
Like, you've never been a flight kind of person.
Like, so when you're in a
situation, right. So it's like when you're in a situation, and I can't think of a specific instance right now, but I know it's happened where it's like something bad happens and you're just instantly like, not in mama bear mode, but like you're in the mode to help. You know what I mean? So I think if the situation was reversed and my heart needed to be touched, like literally to stop the bleeding, you would do it. I seriously think you would do it. Yeah. Now, if you had to think about it afterward, you might get a little queasy.
As soon as it's over and like your life is not, your life is now in somebody else's hands, I'm vomiting my guts up on the floor.
Yeah. Like, we know this about you.
And I have severe trauma for the rest of my life. But yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to go to therapy. You'd have to take
I'd be medicated, sedated.
Perditon. You'd have to take Perditon.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Like, I know, I understand. I get it. I don't hold that against you. But I think in the moment, you would absolutely help me out.
It would just be that
I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind at all whatsoever that you would help me. So
we're like real besties.
Oh my God, it's so cute. Wait. That's like goals, actually. Maybe we need to start a little code thing, like exchange secret letters and my address will be my cipher and your address will be your cipher.
Thing is, mine's a really long like number. So
mine is 2, actually.
Like, it's a few numbers.
Mine's 5 digits.
Yeah. Mine's only 4, but it's like it's a lot. So that's too much. We'd have to come up with something else. Or at least a shortened version of it.
We could do our birthdays, I guess. I mean, our shared birthday's on December 1st.
Yeah.
Which it would be dumb to have like 1 1 1 1 1.
Right,
because
that's
that's lame. But like maybe it's like 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Or 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 because it repeats.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, we just told the world what our code is.
Damn.
Oops.
We're just kidding, guys. We're not going to do that.
That's a stupid. What kind?
It's so
that's
dumb.
A dumb code.
That's who even thought of that?
I don't know. That's really actually stupid and very obvious.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up beluga whales today, and I thought of that.
Why? Who brought up beluga whales?
I don't know. It's the front desk, the salespeople. They talk about anything and everything, but they're talking about their favorite animals. And one of the guys was like, "I love a whale shark."
A beluga whale.
No, but he was like, "I love a whale shark. The whale sharks are my favorite." And then they started talking about whales, and then he said, "I also like a beluga whale," and I just went. Like in my head, I went like that. So if you felt a little signal today, I sent one to you over.
I actually like genuinely felt a little twinge. Yeah.
Well, that was me going.
Did. I was like, what even is like? Get out of my head! What the heck are you doing? Who is that?
She smacked us up. Oh, there's somebody in there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's me. Hi.
Maybe I need Perditon.
Yeah.
We both need Perditon.
We do.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah. True.
If we went to a doctor today and asked for Perditon, what do you think they would say?
I think they would say, "I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Perditon?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with. I'm sorry, who are you? Date of birth?
Is there actually a drug called Perditon?
I don't know. Now we're gonna look it up. No.
Nope. We get that on the streets, y'all. We get the Perditon on the streets.
Hold on. Now you're saying that we're murderers and drug dealers.
Hey, the slip of fits. I don't know what to say. I'm
it's
just
that
saying.
freaking bread. I'm on LSD. I've got ergo poisoning.
We got the ergo poisoning. I think we should say bye to our pairs. We've been talking for a really long time to them. And they're probably tired of us.
Yeah.
And they're tired of hearing about how we would touch each other's literal hearts and guts. So, yeah.
Sorry about that.
We should
that
probably
anybody out.
Sorry, guys. We have no filter here if you haven't learned yet. So,
yep.
Funny pears like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're gonna get. Yep, that's our new catchphrase.
Yep. With the finger gun.
Yep. All right, y'all. Shoppers, all of our glorious shoppers, we're gonna be closing down shop in like 15 seconds. So, y'all go ahead and gather all of your items, your belongings, your rye bread, your witch's cakes, and you come right on up to the front. Check out. We'll shake your hand on the way out.
Yep, we will promptly open next Wednesday. You know the drill.
Yes, we will. And unfortunately, it's not going to be a Halloween themed episode.
Sorry, guys.
Because Halloween's over, unfortunately. It's a very sad day for a lot of people. But doesn't mean it's going to be any less fun.
Yep.
So.
We got plenty of stuff planned. But for now, happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween! You guys stay safe this weekend. Seriously. Don't go crazy. Be good. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Thanks, Mom. Love you. Bye.